So that's nice.
So Dad, how did you
Dad,
how did you propose?
Yeah.
I never heard the story.
Yeah, how did you?
On my knees
On your knees?
to her.
Where was it at?
Can you remember?
Where was it?
Chinatown?
Where were you?
No.
Ohio.
Ohio.
At your house?
Ohio.
At his mom's house.
Wow. Was it on that trip?
Was it on that trip?
Yeah,
It
that's
was on that
The first trip home to his parents, and he
Mom must have passed.
trip? Did you
wait
say
till
yes?
after you got there? Okay, and you'd already met, and everybody had
Oh,
smiled.
Mother Day came tearing out and says, "Oh, here's our little girl."
Oh,
And she was all smiles and everything. It
Wow.
was very nice. Yeah.
well, so it was a done deal by the time you.
Well, we weren't engaged yet.
Well, no,
but-
Horrors no, but
But it might have been
Lord
that
knows
day or
only
the
the
next day.
second
I think
day.
it might have been that day or the next
it was
day.
everyone but knew but you. Is that how it was?
He didn't ask me till we got there. And we
Yeah,
went-
but did his parents? Did your
no,
parents know
they
that you were
wanted
going
to
to ask?
know if we were thinking about being serious. But you couldn't get
Oh.
engaged if you went to Emmaus.
Oh, why?
They didn't want anybody getting engaged at Emmaus, I guess. They
Was
didn't
a
want it
bride.
to be a bridal
So when you
college,
went
I
home,
guess.
were you done with school, or was this
No,
an
we
illegal
went. We just
thing
didn't.
that you guys did?
We didn't tell anybody.
We didn't know.
Oh!
We didn't tell anybody.
Oh, we didn't tell anybody.
Wow.
I didn't know that
So
kept
but
it
we
a
ended
secret.
up telling
There's
some.
secrets, love.
We ended up on Mother's Day making a long distance call to Washington. And at that point, on that phone call, and Emmaus was still in session, but was almost out for the year. Dad, Kenneth asked to talk to Dad, and he asked for my hand.
That's the tough.
After Mom said yes.
That's the tough.
That's the tough part. What was the tough part?
Asking.
Oh, asking her
Her
dad.
dad.
Oh, yeah.
Was Grandpa
Yes,
hard on
but-
you?
No.
No. Okay. Well, it's just hard for
No,
you.
but what if he said no after she had said yes?
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, you had to cope with the same. Oh, no. Yeah, same dad.
So just a couple more, just so we can get the cake. I wanted for those people that may be curious to know what day you were married on, because it's unusual in this day and age what day you were married on.
August 3rd,
Well, I
We
know
know
August
that.
3rd.
We know what the
day
date
of the week?
is, but
Saturday.
no, it wasn't.
It was Wednesday.
Otherwise,
Yes, and our Bible, we went to a little Sunday school in the island. It's camp up at Nooksack. That's right on the city line, was in full session. Almost everybody in Sunday school that was up there being counselors and things. The people, those little kids in our wedding pictures, came from over by Leavenworth. They were from, and their dad was a logger, so he had to take time off to come over in the middle of his week to bring the kids. I mean, I can't believe it. We didn't think.
Why did you get married on Wednesday?
I don't remember why.
I had to go back.
He had to go back to work. Yeah,
Yes,
I think
That must have been the reason.
that must have been. And whatever it was, we sure weren't thinking of anybody but us. Oh, there's Betty and Otto, and they were there at the wedding.
Hello, just in time for the cake cutting.
Betty, they're asking us some wedding pictures, and you asked who our organist
Pictures,
was.
where are they?
In there by the bar. But ask, anybody want to know who was the organist for our wedding?
Yes.
Betty.
And Otto didn't marry us, but he sort of ran the show and got us married. But does anybody want to know who went with me to buy the marriage license? Kenneth was back in Oak Park at the time, and we have to have a 3-day waiting period in Washington.
That would have been Otto.
It was Otto. You went
So
with
did
me
he
to
have to
Everett
pretend he
to
was
pick
dad
up-
in order for them to
No,
give it to you?
he was a witness, I think.
We don't know what these steps
But he went with me. I had to go to Everett to get it, and I did it before I went back. So excuse me. Yeah.
That's my last question, was who was in your wedding party, or who was
Okay.
significant in your wedding that
Well,
you wanted to mention, and
okay.
you just mentioned too. And
Yeah.
who else? Who stood
Well,
up with you? And
Okay. Buddy stood up with us. Robert, I think he was a See, the men could all wear suits. We were glad they had suits. I borrowed my wedding dress and made my veil, sort of, so to speak. And Anne was my best lady.
How about Ron
And
Murphy?
Anita was too. He couldn't come, and neither could Jimmy Day. So we had this one couple that helped us, chaperoned us in the early dating days. The wife sang the solo, and the husband stood up with the two, I guess, didn't he? So that's who's in this picture. I regret in a way now I didn't have Robert standing up officially.
The preacher was.
Well, his name was Mr. Arthur, Kenneth had come to the Lord in Davenport when he first went into chiropractic college. And Mr. Arthur was one of the ministers. It was a Plymouth Brethren Assembly of Church, so he was one of the ministering elders in that meeting. And he moved out here to be a chaplain in one of the, and he was here, so we asked him because he'd been with Ken on his first days or something. Okay, is that do it?
Very cool. And if anyone wants to see wedding pictures or there's other wedding memorabilia that Mom got out, and it's in the house. We'll
There's those two baskets out in there by the fireplace. One has more memorabilia of early days, and the other one is our wedding pictures and stuff. You just notice they're I don't know where informal ones are. They're our professional taken ones, and so they're.
So thank you. We must
Thank
cut the
you.
cake.